If you are embarking on a natural hair growth journey, you are going to want to watch this video. No product, no twisting technique, no shampoo, no deep conditioner, no hair growth serum, no wild growth oil is going to save you from the damage you could be doing if you are doing any of these things I mentioned in the video. What's up, curlies? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kiki, and if you are new here, I do all things curly hair tips, product reviews and styling. This video is all about the 7 worst things you could do if you are trying to grow your natural hair. The first thing, and ultimately one of the most important things, is not checking your hormone balance. Now, if you are someone who has tried to grow their hair, you've embarked on this journey, but you're not seeing progress, your hair may be looking like what mine did, you may be missing a few vital vitamins in your diet. So the main thing you need to check is your hormone levels. You may be iron deficient, you may be vitamin D deficient, and ultimately if you don't resolve these things, you will never ever see length retention or growth potentially if they are lacking. It is one of the top things that you need to make sure you are aware of when you are doing a hair growth journey. Now, if you are deficient in these, then you need to go and get some supplements or seek some more professional advice on where to get those sources of vitamins from. But if you don't get it solved, then you're probably going to really struggle to see the length that you want to see. Now, the second worst thing that you can do if you are trying to grow your hair long with fine hair is diet. I know there's been girls in the past who've dyed their hair and still retain length, or currently dye their hair and they still see growth. But for us fine hair ladies, speaking from experience, when your hair is dyed, your hair is in a weaker state, especially if you are lifting the color. If you're going lighter, you are going to be lifting the color, you're going to be making your hair more porous, more higher porosity, and more susceptible to breakage and weakened brittle hair. Now, when we are growing our hair, we really want to make sure that the hair is in the least compromised state as possible, and that means avoiding things like dyeing and lifting our hair to different lighter levels. It looks cute, granted, hair grows back, granted, but you're not here because you want to have fun with your hair. You're here because you want to retain length and get to your hair length goals. So dyeing it is one of the worst things that you could do. The third thing is heat style it. Can you believe when I was younger, I used to heat style my hair. I used to straighten it every single day for school. Every single day. I used to wonder why my hair would never grow past this point. Granted, I relaxed it as well, but I used to straighten it every single day and my hair just used to stay here. Now that's because it used to break off and I used to have to get the ends cut and it just never grew. So straightening, absolute no-no. Heat styling in general will pull the moisture out of your hair and it will ultimately break the bonds in your hair if you do not use the correct heat protectant. If you do it too often, there are levels to it. Of course, I'm not saying avoid heat completely, but I am saying minimize it to a great deal. If you're someone who blow dries every single week and you've got the round brush and you're pulling your hair, you're not going to see length retention. Trust. Just putting it out there. So keep your heat styling to a minimum. Allow yourself like a blow dry every 3 months, or try and do it as safely as possible with less heat. Make sure your blow dryer is on like a cool setting, that's fine. Use a Rev Air, great tool. Don't use a round brush and really pull the hair, or just don't use heat at all. The easiest way to do it. The fourth thing is, now this might be a bit of a controversial one, but relax it. We are a natural hair channel over here anyway, so relaxers are not something that probably a lot of my subscribers have anyway, and my followers. And I'm not saying there's not a way you can grow and retain length when your hair's relaxed. There definitely is. However, you want to make sure that your hair is not weakened, and relaxers and chemical treatments do weaken the bonds in the hair to pull the curl out. So we want to, again, just like dyeing, We want to avoid all of that stuff that can be counterproductive for our hair health. Ultimately, you want virgin hair. You want hair that is untouched. You want it not compromised. You want it to be as strong as possible. And if you have fine hair, you are going to compromise the strength of your hair with all of these chemical procedures that you may do to your hair. So avoiding those things are going to be the best possible outcome in getting to your hair goals. And number 5 is tight protective styling, especially if you are someone with fine low density hair. Big no-no, tight protective styles, things like tight braids with extensions, things like knotless braids, cornrows to an extent, depending on how tight you do them. All of these high tension styles with added hair gonna be something that you want to avoid. Now, doing these without the added hair is gonna be much more beneficial to you than adding in the hair. We cannot moisturize the hair properly when the hair is added into the hair, and a lot of these synthetic extensions pull the moisture out of our hair anyway. So you're gonna want to not do any of those high tension styling, especially when your hair is very fine, it's weak and brittle, and it's weaker than a coarse hair strand anyway, and it probably can't take the amount of tension that is on that small little square that you've got going on the knotless braid. So avoid high tension styles that require you to use additional hair, and just in high tension styles in general. That moves us on to number 6, which is slicking your own hair. In our length retention journey, slicking the hair is too much styling, it's too much manipulation. Dragging the hair back with a hairbrush, with that hard brush, with gel that probably dries our hair out, and getting it into that pony at the back of our head where we often see like breakage in that area is just a no-no. Avoid slick backs at all costs. I would recommend just opting for very, very loose styles. Low tension is the way you need to go. Low tension, low manipulation, and none of that kind of drying gel that comes with doing slick backs. Your edges will thank you and your hair will thank you later, because we want to minimize the breakage that we may see from pulling our hair into tight styles. Fine hair cannot take too much high tension and too much manipulation on a day-to-day basis, and slick backs require you to do this at least, if not every day, every other day. And if it's not every day, what gel are you using to keep your hair slicked for the whole week without doing it? Can't be good. The last and final worst thing you could do is neglect the moisture and protein balance in your hair. I was thinking really hard about this last one, and there were probably another few things I could throw in there. But in terms of the worst thing you can do to your hair, neglecting this balance is going to be a game changer if you have fine hair, because it's not just all about moisture all of the time. Yes, we need our hair to be moisturized because we don't want to see it get dry and break off, get tangled, split ends, etc. But on the flip side, if your hair is not strong, then it's never going to grow. We need to have a balance of protein and moisture, and your hair, from too much moisture, you can also experience weaker, brittle, more frizzy, more prone to breakage hair, because it's too moisturized and it's too elastic. So making sure you've got a good protein and moisture balance is going to be essential. I am speaking from experience. I neglected my protein balance in my hair and thought I could just do moisture for months on end, and turns out my hair hates it. It is way more frizzy, broke off a lot easier, and I am someone who does style my hair on a week-to-week basis, and even with that little amount of styling, I still saw breakage. And although my hair grew to waist length at a point, it just wouldn't retain the length because it wasn't strong enough. So I would definitely recommend you getting yourself a bond reconstructing treatment and some sort of protein treatment, deep conditioner, that you can use every so often, if not every other wash day, to make sure your hair has a good moisture and protein balance. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know any other tips that you can suggest for us curlies and us fine haired girls in order to reach our length retention goals, and I will see you in the next video.